Subscribe, please.
So B-roll of me eating because I'm starving. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. It's probably annoying, Gimpy. Ooh, I'm excited. I get to eat after this. Thank you. I know it may not look like it, but I love food. I love food. I love all kinds of food, but you know what's funny? Is as much as I love food, my palate is relatively, you know, small, or what's the word? It's just not very diverse. Like I don't love vegetables, and I don't love trying new things. I don't know. It's a texture thing, I think, mostly for me. Like I like roasted tomatoes. If they're like little cherry tomatoes in a pasta, I can eat that. But like a tomato on a sandwich, can't do. Pickles, I love the like tips of the pickles where they're really crunchy, but I don't love the center part of it. It's a texture thing for me, but I love food. Love food. I need to tell you, I can be very selfish when it comes to food too, so. Hey guys, welcome back to my second Gimpys Gal guesses. If you saw the Space Core video that I did a guesses on, I just filmed that right before this. It's Christmas Eve and we're trying to get a few out before the holiday. So I am in the same outfit. I just filmed that. So if you haven't already seen that, go check it out. I'm sure it'll be up by now. But I am doing another guesses. There was a bunch of games that were kind of trickling in over the last few weeks, especially with the holidays and the mail being so backed up, that some of them just arrived today. So that's why I'm filming a couple of them back to back, because he'd been waiting for these to come in so I could do a guesses on them, because he can't wait to crack them open and start playing them. So the last one I did was the GMT Space Core. This is Thunder in the East. This says Frank Chadwick's European Theater of Operations Volume 1. The Second World War on the Russian Front, 1941 to 1944. This is by Victory Point Games. This is a very long, but actually shockingly quite heavy box. Right away, I do like the front of it. It gives me a kind of a vintage vibe, this kind of drawing and artwork that I see on some of the games. It gives me a more vintage feel. Like I feel like this, I don't know if this is a new game or if it's an older game, but just from the look of it, I feel like it's an older game, but I'm probably wrong. But obviously we know this is a European theater of operation. We know it takes place from 1941 to 1944 because Victory Point Games printed that on the box for me. So basically I don't have to guess that part. Yay! Snaps for Victory Point Games. Awesome. And it says volume 1, so I'm guessing there must be more than one volume. Again, I don't know if this is new or old as far as when this was printed. So maybe there are more volumes that already exist. I don't know. I'm sure Gimpy will correct me, or he will let you know whenever he does a playthrough of it. But just from looking at the front of it, it's definitely a war game, obviously, which means that it's not exactly my cup of tea, but I'm gonna guess it because these are fun to guess, because I'm usually close to right, but there's usually some big key points that I'm wrong on. So it's interesting. No matter how many of these that I do, I still would never be considered an expert because I don't actually play these games. So this is the front. On the back, while I have it set up here like this, I'm just gonna read you the back. So it's talking about kind of the history of it. And then we have contents. We have one 49 by 41 inch paper map. It says it's in 4 sections. Now, right off the bat, I have bad luck with opening the paper maps. If you saw, I don't remember what guesses video it was, but I did a guesses where I was opening up a map and I was trying to be as delicate as possible. But the way that one was folded, as I started to unfold it, I guess I wasn't holding it right, and it started to like rip on the fold, and I kept trying to like fix it, and it just kept making it worse. So I don't have a good pass with paper maps, so I'm not thrilled about that. But that's what you get, and it's again in 4 sections. You get 13 sheets of 1,050 game pieces, or no, I'm sorry, 1,050 plus game pieces. There are 16 player aid sheets and mats, and there are 84 cards, 3 books. So there's a rule book, a scenario book, and a reference book. It says 2 players or 2 teams. So I guess you could play 4 or 6, just separated into just 2 teams. So it's still technically just 2 sides. It says it is an 8 to 12 hour per scenario. I'm guessing that's gotta be gameplay. I've read these times before on the back of the game where it said like 2 years, and I was like, oh my God, it's 2 years to play one turn of this game. And in actuality, that was what the time of a turn represented in the game. But this, I think, because it says 8 to 12 hours per scenario. So I'm guessing that's how long one scenario takes to complete. That's a long game. That's a lot. And I don't know who would be able to play more than one of those in a week, because even if you played it a couple hours a day, it would take you the whole week to finish one scenario, and you'd have to play it every single day for a couple of hours. So this is a very time-consuming game. And it says for 14 years and up. I did miss a few of the contents. We have, in addition to what I already read, we have 2-axis black 6-sided dice for resolving battles, 2 Soviet red 6-sided dice. So here it is. It's given me the sides. Gimpy always wants me to guess what side is, or which sides are playing in this and who is who. And it's telling me on the content. So we know that the we have the Axis, and then we have 2 Soviets are involved, red 6-sided dice for resolving battles. There are 3 custom 6-sided close support dice, 9 custom gold 6-sided supply dice. This is very like tongue twisty. For detonating supply sources and their ranges. Okay. On the complexity scale, we have, it looks like it can be played solitaire. Okay, complexity, it says 5, 6, and 7. It says SOC. So maybe solitaire is a 5. I don't know what the O and the C stand for, but they're listed over the 5, 6, and 7. S is over the 5, O is over the 6, the C is over the 7. Don't know what that means. And then on the bottom it says solitaire. Oh, it says it right here. Thank you, Victory Point Games. You told me. So for standard is 5 hours. With optional rules is 6, or not 6 hours. That's the complexity. So they're like different complexities, like easy, medium, and hard. So the standard is a level 5 complexity. The with the optional rules is a 6 on the complexity scale. And C, which is with the campaign rules, is a 7 on the complexity scale. The dog is in here. If you hear her whimpering, she would not leave, and now she wants out. Go figures, just like a kid. And the solitaire, why did I say that so weird? Solitaire. The solitaire playability or complexity is 7.5. So that is what is on the back. So here, I think this is the picture down here of Frank Chadwick, who is the designer. So there is the back. It's super heavy. I don't even think I can hold it up for very long. I don't have much in the muscle department, so we'll just have to give you a leaning look at the back of the box. All right. Ooh, that was definitely the box. These people are calling my name. Sorry. All right, here. Ooh, that's a big rule book. Baggies. More baggies. I just kind of stick those all together. Okay, this is a lot. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Whew. Is that everything? Okay, it looks like a very thin box. That's deceiving because there's a lot of stuff in this box. All right. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Here's the map in 4 little pieces. I am not gonna deal with that right now. At the very end, I'll show you because I don't want to break anything. So here is the Axis display, and here's the Soviet display. Hopefully you can see those. Axis, Soviet, right? Yeah. Just hold one at a time. Soviet display. Then the Axis display, which is right here. Then we have all these counters. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these counters. I'm not going to show you every single one of these. I'm sorry. Some people might enjoy that, but there's too many of them, and it's Christmas Eve. I got to get out to my kids and do our little festivities before it gets too late. So I cannot show you all of these, and I won't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'll show you a few of them. This one is weird. We have numbers, which normally these just confuse me. And I know he's told me in some other games, counters that look similar to this, he'll tell me, oh, this number just means this, and this means this, and this means this. It's super simple, right? And I'm like, yeah, that is actually pretty simple. But then when I see another game, instead of trying to remember what that one did and maybe see if there's any similarities, I just blank out. I don't know. So random colors, these colors do look a little more bland. which tends to be the case for these more war-specific games, like a battle game, because they're not going to have pinks and purples and sparkles in them, even though I recommended it to some of the other designers and some of the other publishers. They did not take my advice and add sparkles to anything yet. So I'm sorry for the sparkle fans out there, but your war game is not going to include glitter for a while, but I'm working on it still. So colors are drab, but I don't know. I mean, I'm basically just would be holding up sheet after sheet after sheet after sheet and telling you that I don't know what any of it means. And again, you can probably go back and count how many of these guesses I've done, how many of them have included counters that are probably very similar to these. And I still say the same thing in video after video after video. I don't know what it means. It's too confusing. It's too much. Boop, I'm shut down. So that was the front. This is the back. This is just one of the little tiny sheets that's in here. It did say there was like over 1,000 over 1,000 game pieces. I'm going to show you 2 more sheets and then we're going to move on to the other components because this has a crap ton. Looks like there's a little boo-boo on the back of this one. I don't know if we can fix that or not, but that is the front. This is the back. We have a little boo-boo here, which I'm sure we can hopefully fix. I don't know if it's on the actual counter, if it's over top of it. Like I can't tell where it's, I think it came off of the counter, yeah. Like it ripped a little piece of it off. So hopefully that doesn't destroy anything. I did not do that. It was like that. And here's one more sheet just to give you an idea. That's the front, I'm guessing. Yeah. This is sheet 11 front. And this is sheet 11 back. So this is why I'm not going to show you all these because this is probably boring. It's very boring for me because I'm just showing you and just listing off things that mean nothing to me. So yeah, what is that? Okay, so we can do this. No. 7. So there's 12 of these humongous sheets of counters right here, front and back. And they do look quite similar, but obviously there's different ones. And some of them are going to be for the Soviet, some are going to be for the Axis. I think red is usually Soviet, I think. I could be wrong. So maybe the other color is for the Axis, I don't know. And then we have this little half kind of sheet here. So there's that. Set these over here. Then we have a lot of other components to this game. This looks like just a little catalog. Yeah, Victory Point Games, Premier Line Catalog. You know, it's so funny to see all the stuff in this game, like how much stuff is in this game, and this is their catalog. One little pamphlet is what you get in the box with all this stuff, the one little thing. So they're not interested, obviously, like they're not trying to shove all their products down your throat because the bulk of what's in here is for this game. And I actually respect that. I think it's really cool. It's cool to put a little pamphlet in there so you can see what other games they have. And I think this is this. Yeah, and it's showing some gameplay on that one. And then next in the ETO series, so it tells you what's next in the series. So yeah, I think this is cool. And it's not really like a catalog. I mean, it's not telling you to order this. It's just kind of telling you what is available and what would be next if you're following a certain sequence. So that's cool. So that's in there. And then all of this is the rest of the components here. So this is Thunder in the East Casualty Mat. So it says 0 MPs, -1 MP, -1 MP. I think MP is military police if I'm not. Nope, I'm wrong. It's in morale point. I don't know. But that is the casualty mat here. Then we have 2 of these Soviet available theater reserves and Axis available theater reserve cards that look like this. So remember, there's only 2 sides. You're either the Axis or you're the Soviets. You can play with multiple people. You can play with more than 2 people. It's just, there's only 2 sides. So you're going to be playing in teams if you play more than 2. And you can play it solitaire. There is a way to do it solitaire. I just haven't found that information yet. And then these are transport and cargo sheets for, are these just the same? Yeah, these must be like reference cards, I think. It just says Thunder in the East, transport and cargo sheet. Yeah, 15.4. Rail movement, attack damage, air cargo, and naval cargo. And on the back, it says the same thing. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the same on the front and the back, so I don't know why it's front and back, I don't know. But that's what that is. So you can see the same on the front, same on the back, and they both say the same thing. Same all the way around. Okay, then we have, here is a terrain effects chart, which is pretty clear to me. It's talking about how what the terrain effects are on the map. So like what the terrain looks like, if it affects the movement or if it affects the air or the combat, and then any extra notes. So that's what this is on the front, and on the back it says the build cost chart. We have ground units, air units, and special, and then it just is built from the force, pull, and motorized. This one, I don't know why he even has me guess these, because by the end of it, I'm so confused and there's so many things in this box that I am just gonna say random things just to get it over with because I'm glazing over. There's so much. So that's the front of the sheet. This is the back of that sheet. So very, very useful as far as using the front and back of sheets. You don't have too many papers in here, even though there's still 5 million. Putting it on the front and the back does kind of cut down on it, not going too crazy. Another terrain effects chart, and then the build cost chart. So you have one for each of the teams to have, I'm assuming. So there's the front, there's the back. I'm not holding that one as long because it's exactly the same as the one I just showed you. Then we have like 25 more sheets over here. We'll go through them one at a time. Let's see what these little booklets are first. We have the scenario book and the reference book and then the rule book. So here are the books. Rule book, scenario book right here, and the reference book. So all the books for all the things. Oh, cool. They do have a little box here for you to put the cards in. That's cool. I didn't notice that that's what that was till just now. So you have 3 boxes. You have Axis cards and Soviet cards, a little box you put it into, and then weather cards. So how organized is that? That is so cool. This has to be an older game because I don't see games come with the little boxes that you fold together to put them in. So that's pretty cool. But I could be wrong. It could be brand new. So there's the boxes to put your cards in. Again, I think that is so awesome. And then let's go back to this. So these were those displays. So that over there, so don't forget to show you the map pieces at the end. All right, this is East Europe Air Unit display. We have available, flown, and destroyed. So that seems pretty simple. This must have to do with airplanes, ones that are available to fly, ones that have already been flown, and ones that are destroyed and newly built. So that is what that is. Looks like there's only one of those. Yeah, and it might be a solitaire. This might be a solitaire piece. I'm not sure. It doesn't specify. This is a turn record track. So you have the years, 1942, 43, 44, 45, 41, 42, 43, 44. So yeah, it's a turn track, winter, spring, summer, autumn, East Europe, Mid-East, and Black Sea. So that is what this is. It's like your turn tracker. So it keeps track of the time and how you're moving through and blah, blah, blah. So that's what that is. And then we have, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Ural resources or URL resources, however you would say that. And this one is just complete clutter, chaos, confusion to me. It says when capturing an objective, reference the following rules. 22.0, capturing objective hexes. 207.0 capturing objectives, campaign game in parentheses, 202.0 national morale, campaign game, 106.3 and 209.1 Soviet fleets. That means absolutely nothing. This says it's an economic map. So that's why, because it has to do with economics. So that's what all that stuff is on there. It's economic. It's important. You'll use it. I just don't know how. Gimpy's going to have to be the one to tell you that because I have no clue. All right. Dogfight results table. Great, there's dogfighting in this. So the last game had pirates and aliens. This has dogfighting. How family friendly. I know it's not actual dogfighting, but that's just funny. So this is the dogfight results table. It tells you what happens when you roll whatever on your die. And then air missions summary is below that. So up at the top is the dogfight. This is the air missions. This is the front of that sheet. On the back, or it could be the reverse. The side I'm showing you now could be the back, and this other side could be the front. I don't know. It doesn't say. The back of this one, though, says ground combat results table and an explanation of ground combat results. And then overrun results. That is what is on the back of this, which I'm showing you right now. So I don't know what any of this, it is a lot of words, it is a lot of symbols, it is a lot of stuff that means nothing to me, and all it means to me right now is it's keeping me from my food. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. I've opened games before where I've been like, wow, but this one might take the cake for the most stuff. All right, this is the morale chart. Weekly morale, immediate morale events, and seasonal morale events. That is what's on the front. On the back, it says weekly game turns. And then we have a bunch of different, we have dogfight sequence, battle sequence, logistics phase, combat phase, regular movement phase, season start phase. That is what is on the back of the sheet. So this is just, like I said, the morale chart on the front, and then the back was the weekly game turns. Explanation of what that is, which I could not do. Gimpy will again have to break this down more for you because it literally just makes me feel like I'm the dumbest person on the planet when I see all of this on here, because I know even if I read it from beginning to end, halfway through I would forget what I read because that's just how my brain works. I don't read, and just to give you an example, I'm not ever trying to sell myself short. I'm not saying I'm stupid. I'm not, but I learned hands-on. Reading was never my forte. I do enjoy to read, but if I had to read something in class and retain the information, it wouldn't happen the first read. I'd have to read it a few times and be in a completely quiet area and really soak it in to be able to remember things I read or be super interested in it. If it's something I'm being forced to read for history or whatever it is, social studies in school, it would just take me forever to retain that information. And normally I would not retain it by reading it. I would retain it by writing myself flashcards or watching a video or something. So that's just not the way I learn. So even if I did read all of this before I shot this video, I would not know what I was talking about. So just to keep you guys on the same page as me, this is a guesses. I am completely 100% blind going into this. I have no idea what this is. This is another morale chart. Is it the same? 202.0 and in the back. Yeah, so this is two of the same sheet. So I just showed you that, so I'm not going to show you that again. Then we have the ground combat results table. That's what was on the front. And on the back, we have dogfight results table again, and then air missions summary. Did I already show you one of those two? Yep. So those are the same. So you have a few that are identical, I guess. So each side can have one of those. So let me just kind of stack these all together here. There's each side's display. Oh, there's the boxes there, the rule books, and then all the counters. So, okay. Now we're going to look at this map. Okay, here's the dice, by the way. I told you there was a bunch of yellow dice. These have the weird symbols on them. I'm going to get one out and show you. We have 4-8 right there, a 0 on the top, 6-12 on the other side, a number 8, number 4, number 9, number 8 again. So yeah, you get the gist. That's that yellow dice. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. And then we have 2 black, 2 red, and then 3 of these that have like a picture. There's a plane on one side, looks like a card on the other, and then arrows on one side, and then blank on the other. Let's pull it out and show you better. Then the red and the black are just normal dice. They're just red for one side and black for the other, and it said in the book which side each dice is for. So we have a little double-sided arrow, we have a plane, and then we have a card. Hopefully you can see that. Let me try to do my little arrows and the plane. Hopefully you can see that better. Hopefully it zoomed in or focused on it. All right. So that's the dice. Now the maps, we'll open these up, and then I'm really going to give you Best guess I can. All right, this feels like a little sturdier than that one map that I was ripping, so I don't think I'll rip this one. So here is, oh gosh, one of the pieces. And I think you lay these all out. It looks like it goes this way based on the writing. I think these all go laid out together, but you probably don't have to keep them all out just depending on where you're at. But it says it's one map. It's just in 4 sections. So here's one section of the map. Hopefully you can see it all. It's quite large, so you might not be able to get it all in frame from where I'm at. But that is one section. Here is another section, which is a little smaller. It looks like it's just a 2E, which looks like it goes this way. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how this map fits together. Like, that's how oblivious I am to this right now. So there is that. We have another 2E, which goes this way. So it isn't too crazy because they're not all 4, humongous map. That one was a 4, and I mean it folded over twice. This one just folds over once instead of that one. I don't know if this one looks like it's another 4E. And here is the last section of the map, which is another big one. And I believe I'm holding it the right side up. If I'm not, Gimpy will correct me by making some silly comment. All right, so that's the map. So we've looked at all the components. All we haven't looked at is these cards here. So these are the cards. I'm not going to pull them out. I don't like to do that just because if they're all in one thing, I don't know what order they're supposed to go in. I don't want to mess anything up. So on this side, it says Blitzkrieg, which I have heard before. It says large major event. This one says extreme cold, air, ground. So yeah, it's really not meaning anything to me from what I've read. And I'm not even going to attempt to read the rule book or crack it open because I can tell you it would mean nothing to me. I don't learn these types of things by reading. So it just would not happen for me. I'm sorry. So if you watch these for like information on truly how to play these, this is not the video for that. This is more just for fun, and it honestly gives me an appreciation of these games because it shows me how much goes into not just making them, which that's mind-blowing. I learned that at WBC just watching some of the creators and designers talking about their designs and how long they put into it and how much thought and process goes into creating these games and creating them well. I learned that there, but really doing these unboxings, it really does give me an appreciation for how much work these people put into this, whether you're playing it, whether you're a designer, if you're in like a league, if you just do this for fun, if it's just a hobby, it really does give me an appreciation for it. Because before, I honestly thought, and I know we've said this before, but if you're new, maybe you haven't heard this story, but I used to think that it was honestly just, you would line up your sides, army men, whatever, and you would pew, pew, pew. Okay, I'm going to move my guy here, and then I'm going to fight your guy. I didn't realize there was dice involved, and there's all this strategy and all these different games. I didn't know that this world existed. So this gives me an appreciation for that. It is not meant to educate you on how to play these games. And it's certainly not meant to be like me making fun of them or anything like that. This is literally just me showing an interest in what my husband really loves to do. And I have fun doing it. And again, it gives me a greater appreciation for that. So based on what I can see, all the little pieces I'm trying to put together here, obviously we know it's Soviets and the Axis. There are different scenarios. You can play this solo, but there are only 2 sides. So if you play with more than 2 people, you're only going to be playing 2 different sides. That's it. I guess it's just a battle game. There's really not much else to say, is there? I mean, you're playing as the Soviets or as the Axis, and you're battling each other, and that's where the cards and all the different things come into play, and that tells you what happens and how you move through the game. And whoever wins, wins. I mean, that sounds pretty stupid of a guess, but that honestly is as best of a guess as I can give. And at the very truest, center of it all, isn't that truly what the goal of the game is to beat the other side? So I'm really not wrong. If I start guessing everyone like that, then I can't be wrong, because really the point of the game is to win. So I'm not steering you wrong by saying that, but I really can't give much more of a detailed guess on that, because there is so much in here that just showing you all of the components stressed me out a little bit. But I know he is super excited to get into this one and to crack it open and play with it. And I'm sure any of the information that I got wrong, as far as if this is new or if this is an older printed game, he will absolutely correct me. And please remember, I'm just guessing. I'm just having fun. It's just like when Nate used to do videos for me when I sold makeup. Sometimes he would help me out on those videos. It wasn't because he necessarily loved makeup. It's because he loves me and he wanted to support me and what I enjoyed. That's what I'm doing here. So I do like this world, and there are a lot of games that we have played that I absolutely adore, and I adore all the people I have met in this industry. But I will be completely honest with you. You will never see me choose to sit down and play a war game that is like this type of war game. I just don't think I could ever get into that. It's just not what interests me or what I consider to be a good time. But you guys love it, and I think that is awesome, and I think that all the stuff that goes into this, I mean, just to get this game set up, it looks like a task to me. So I applaud you for making these games, for playing these games, for watching me make a fool of myself and guess them. And really, really, I applaud my husband for all the work he puts into doing the playthroughs of these games and showing them to you. We really do put a lot of energy into these, and we really enjoy it. I don't just do these just because my husband wants me to. I enjoy it, and I have met a lot of cool people, and I will admit there's been some games that I never in a million years thought I would ever be interested in playing that I begged for after we left the WBC. So it just goes to show you can't always say, like, I can't really say I would never play a war game because I have played some. I just don't think I would play one that is like this. But Gimpy's proved me wrong before, so he may prove me wrong again. And since this is a multiplayer or a solitaire, usually if it's solitaire, he has it to be solitaire because a lot of you guys watch him for that. So my guess is he's going to do a playthrough of this on the solitaire side. But you never know. There might be one that I am willing to try some point in the future. We'll see. But anyways, I know this wasn't a super in-depth guess from me, but there was a lot in here, and it is Christmas Eve, and I do want to spend some time with my family and I want you guys to enjoy your Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and go. That concludes my Gimpys Gal guesses. Again, this was Thunder in the East, the Second World War on the Russian front. This was a Victory Points game. So if you guys have any questions, be watching out for the playthroughs of these games. And if you guys have any suggestions, or if there's anything that you ever get because of a video we've done, please let us know in the comments. We love hearing that one of our videos inspired you to go out and try something, or inspired you to go out and buy something. So if that ever happens, let us know. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you want to. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and we will see you guys probably in the new year. Bye! Oh, that was so much. I hope that you're not mad at me, honey, because I really, this one glazed me over. I don't see how you didn't warn me that it was gonna be a little much. This one looks deceivingly small, and it's not. It's so much heavier than it looks. Like, look how it looks thin, right? But it has some heft to it. There is a lot of stuff in here, a lot of components, and I'm sure that makes a lot of you guys very excited. But for me, it just stresses me out. I don't know why, because it's just a game, but it's like I can start to feel my anxiety. And maybe it's because I want to be able to understand these things because Gimpy loves them so much, and I just don't learn by reading. I can't read something and pick up what it means. I have to see it played out before me or do it myself before I can pick it up. So to try and put a game together that has this much just stuff in it stresses me out and makes me feel anxious, because I know that I couldn't do it by reading it. I need to watch a video or actually just start playing it to figure it out. So that's kind of why this guess was a little more than my other ones. But anyway, there's your B-roll.